second feature of the year. We have my next guest, and his name is Craig Kendall. He's based in West Midlands, and he's in performing arts as well, and it's great to have him on board. We'll take it from there. Hello, Craig. How are you? Thanks for...
Hello. I'm good, thank you.
That's great to hear. And you are in performing arts. What fields of performing arts? Do you do drama? Do you sing, dance?
No, it's all mostly drama. It's all mostly film, theatre, as well as music videos. Mostly short films, but mostly acting, I suppose.
Great stuff. When did you discover your love for acting, drama, theatre?
I first discovered it when I was 11 years old, and the funny story was, I was in a play called Bugsy Malone, which is a pretty famous musical. Didn't really like drama at first.
Yeah.
It was kind of just one of those things. It just seemed easy, but I grew a love for it. I think making people laugh just inspired me to kind of venture down that path.
So what was it about drama which kind of got you out of your shell? Was it the meeting people, giving you more confidence?
I think it's the ability to make people laugh as opposed to feeling like people are laughing at you. It's more like it's almost like a service to give people than to entertain people, to make them laugh, as opposed to always feeling like people are pointing at you and laughing. Instead, you can just charge them a little bit of money, then we can all have a laugh and a joke.
Wow, that sounds really amazing, actually. Very interesting. So we're here today. I've invited you on. You're willing to discuss about your journey. Could you tell me a bit more about it, what you've been through?
My journey basically was from pretty much a young age. I was way too lonely. I was very secluded, probably because I never had interests that other people could interact with. It just became a relationship between me and a games console, and that was just kind of how it started. And from then on, being secluded, being away from people, I started to I was isolated, which means I didn't really want to communicate with people. So isolation always felt like the best thing to do. And isolation is never the best thing to do in any situation whatsoever. It was just purely because I had a lack of understanding and communication with other people.
And so, So the basically what you're trying to say is the performing arts, the drama, has really kind of got you out there and made you the person you are today.
Ever since I got into drama, I started venturing into the whole performance side of things. It helps build up confidence, and confidence is the biggest thing that you need to be able to communicate with people. Because once you're able to communicate and get over that language barrier and get over trying to befriend people, it makes life easier in all situations.
It's great to have a network of friends as well, who support you as well in what you do as well.
I think that's the most important part. It's not really about having 100 different friends. It's being able to communicate and be honest with yourself and able to be positive-minded. Because in some cases where people have had depression or have depression, they seclude themselves away because they believe it's the best thing to them. They're constantly thinking that they are interrupting people, that they are a nuisance to people. So they stop themselves from communicating. They stop themselves from being part of groups because they always feel as if they are annoying someone or a nuisance.
And
which is why,
you shouldn't feel that way. Surely you should feel. You should.
No, you should. The way to be is to just be positive and just be real with things, because at the end of the day, we're the only ones that are creating our own problems. It's all problematic in the brain as opposed to what's actually happening. Your brain overthinks something. That's it. That's the end. You've completely blown something out of proportion, and you're unable to recover.
That's understandable. Then, so what do you think, especially in the news this week, social media plays a big part in influencing people? How do you think social media has made people? Do you think it has made them a bit more withdrawn, depressed? Do you think there's too much going on?
I think social media, it has positives, it also has negatives. I think the whole thing of trying to showcase your life online. You want to show people that you're being positive, that you're always doing something. It almost feels like you're trying to keep everyone up to date. And I think that social media also has positives. It brings people together,
Yeah.
they communicate over long distances. Even a simple hello can
Mm-hmm.
brighten someone's day.
True.
So there's positives and negatives to it all.
Great stuff. So, do you think, what would you like to say to the certain people who kind of overlook depression, or even to the ones who are a bit ignorant? What would you like to say to them?
To people who overlook depression, we need to stop thinking that depression's a far-fetched idea, because it isn't. It's something so simple. And, now there's a lot more awareness about depression as opposed to 10 years ago, when I remember someone would say depression and they'd just say, well, he's just upset, he's just sad. That's it. But now, especially in the recent times with like the death of certain celebrities who have fell to depression and and all that side of things, it's been created awareness. There are now people who are there to counsel people. It's now been seen and observed as a more credible matter, to put it into words, where people, you'd say depression. Now people are listening.
Yeah, that's good to know. It's good to know that it's been brought to attention these days, because I think more people are, by what I've heard and experiences, more people than ever are experiencing depression, aren't they?
It's just the problem with depression is, it's almost like being a product of your environment. People will often say, if there's a reason why you've got depression, it's because of this or because of that. And it can happen to anyone. And like you can see a positive-minded person walk down the street and think nothing less, but on the inside, I'm sure he's got his mind full of problems and he's overthinking something.
And it's,
but I think it's just sorry.
And it can affect both sexes, male and female.
Of course. There is no brain in any human body that can overthink any situation, because we're all born differently and we all think different of certain situations. We're all human beings, we're all unique, but every one of us think differently. We all react differently. Not everyone's going to be positive minded in the morning. Not everyone's a morning person, as most people think. Some people can jump out of bed and be happy. Some people need a coffee. Some people just don't want to get out of bed because they just can't face it. They just want it to be a Saturday.
Well, thank you very much for your input and sharing your experiences. I hope even listening to one person listening to it, if it can help someone, that's an achievement in itself, isn't it?
It'd be brilliant. I think the most important part is giving awarenesses to this. It's all about trying to create even the slightest positive thought in your mind. Because we are our own worst enemies. We are going to overthink and we are going to make huge problems out of small ones. We just need to be able to positively do something about it, help those that need it, be aware of these situations. Never believe that you're a nuisance to anyone, because you never are.
Of course.
And just live positive.
So we're going to finish on a high. I've been told that you like a bit of a joke. Would you like to finish off with tell us a joke?
Oh, okay then. Oh, geez, put me on the spot. Okay, here we go. 3 men at the top of a building. And the first man says to the other 2, he says, I'm going to take up my watch, throw it in the air, run all the way down to the bottom of the stairs and catch it before it hits the floor. So the first man takes off his watch, throws it in the air, runs down the steps. The watch hits the floor. The second man takes off his watch, throws it in the air, runs down the steps, hits the floor. Third man wants to give it his go, takes off his watch, throws it in the air, runs down the steps, goes to the corner shop, picks up his loaf, comes back, kisses the wife on the cheek, runs back and catches the watch. The other 2 are in disbelief and they say, how the hell did you do that? And the man goes, my watch is half an hour slow.
Well, thank you very much, Craig, for sharing your life story with us.
And thank you very much.
That's great. And Dansun, does real life stories, Craig Kendall there. Great stuff. Thank you.